1, 2. Okay, looks like we're on. So I thought I would copy. Also, I use this app Linear, which is like an issue tracker for software teams normally. I just use it as my personal, I don't know, to-do managing system. And they have really beautiful, well, I think it's one of the like best executed visually, like desktop app type apps that I've seen in a while. It's like for an app that's got reasonable information density, it looks really elegant and simple, and kind of like the interface really gets out of your way. So I think it's probably a lot to learn from it. So I want to copy it as a way of kind of like trying to understand how they do the font sizes, the like what systems are underneath it, basically. I'm going to attempt to. Sometimes when I do this, I just kind of stick the screenshot in Figma and then trace it over it. But I'm going to attempt to like draw it from scratch in Figma because I think I don't know, maybe we'll learn some more interesting stuff that way. Cool. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to use the web inspector to do a lot of checking font sizes and things. And I think I'm going to start, I'll basically just like pick a component and work up from there. I think work out to the font interface. Maybe I start here. So I'm just going to grab the font size of this. This is 13. I think into 13. Is there anything else going on? Nice, it looks like that's it. Cool, so I'm going to start just by making a frame. I'll do colors in a sec, so I'm just like I'm going to start with a single component and kind of get that working, and then I'll start kind of establishing a system of text styles and things like that once I've got a few pieces in place. I'm curious, is this any different? 13 weight's normal. No, okay, same. Cool. Just gonna give them all the name of Sam 100. I have a chevron thing here. I often don't know how to do these. Like, do you do them in text or it looks like they're using an icon. Oh no, before just using a little chevron icon there. Interesting. So what's going on with this? Inline order. Oh, it's just 13 too. Huh. That looks smaller or something, doesn't it? I assume it's one of these. It's not that. What if we take its content? Interesting, I won't notice. There we go. It's weird, I don't really know what this character is, but oh, let's go with it for now. Cool, so we've one of them, one of them, one of them. This is like a parent issue. Cool, and then the date. This looks a little small actually, eh? What have we got here? Yeah, 12. Cool. We also have these 3 dots. It's one more thing. Okay, they're using an SVG. So let's see, the SVG is 16 by 16. 2 by 2 dots, so let's see if we can create that. This is a common thing with icons. You have like a kind of wider boundary box, and then your actual icons kind of only fill a certain amount of space. So this was 14 by 14, so I think, oh no. Let's get something like this. We'll go to that and change the color later. I'm going to give this make this a component. Okay, I think we're going to begin with creating components. So I'm going to create an icon frame here. This will just help organize the components in a list. More and yeah, that's good. Cool. And then we also have these circles here. I think I'm not going to create all of the styles of these, but maybe we just do one. So it's a 12 by 12 circle, it looks like. Yeah, stroke 2. Okay, cool. Let's do that here too. So 12 by 12. Stroke 2. Let's do this whatever for now. I'm going to call this a status symbol because they use it to denote complete, not complete, etc. I don't know about this, but I'm thinking probably to keep the bounds consistent for the icons, so we have that as a 16 by 16 too. Cool. Let's stick that in there. All right, so this row's looking good. We've got more or less everything in there. Let's just look at how the overall row is constructed. Interesting, 29. 33. Okay, so we've got kind of like two sections to this. We've got the left aligned, and the date comes right aligned with some other stuff. So I'm going to wrap that in another order layout. I'm just using Shift A for that. And then again, he's going to go in order layout, Shift A again. Space between so that it kind of like stretches to fit the space. Yeah. I have no idea why this is so massive. Let's just say this is going to be 16 as well. Oh, weird. This character has a bunch of space built into it. Okay, we can adjust it. I'm just going to hack it. Cool. That's like the beginnings of the issue row. I think at this point maybe I start collecting colors as well. Let's do. Oh, I have a color picker app for this, I think. Yeah, I've got one called Sip. There are tons out there. Cool. I'm just going to assemble. I find it easiest to kind of like have a place where colors live on the canvas. So I'm going to create another rectangle there, but then there's also going to be background. Because this is the general background color that we're using here. Okay, they're not using pure white. That's interesting. 247, 248, 248. So we're going to go to background. This is going to be okay. So then this is like a common thing, like you have kind of almost white, but with a little blue. You can see the whole interface is kind of like this purpley, bluey shade, so that even there, that's kind of going right down to their text, to the body text. It's like slight, it's got a hint of the hue in it. If I change it to HSL, you can see like, yeah, we're kind of like way over here and we're pulling down in the color. So it's picking up a bit of color, it's not pure grayscale. It's subtle, but it can really help, I think, like keep the kind of keep a cohesive feeling throughout the whole app. Same here, 1384, 123, 152. One, 3, 8, 3, 1, 5, 2. Nice. Again, you can see this is like message of HSL, grey with a little blue mixed in. I think it's using the same hue. Oh no, different hue. Well, whatever. That looks nice. I'm assuming this is the same. Yeah. And this one too. Yeah, nice. What about this? This is filled with this hex, which is, let's see. The same, cool, yeah, okay, so they're being nice and consistent with their colors. It's, let's draw this out, so we've got kind of this one, this one. Oh, this is cool, you can see the hue here. So this, so I'm going to call text primary. I'm using the / so that in here Figma kind of like picks up the headings, organizes the styles a bit. Text secondary. Similarly, I'm going to actually use a bit of a different naming convention here. I'm going to go with, this is kind of personal preference, but I like to use like surface as like the kind of surface colors. Maybe go with a numbering convention. The 100 is pretty common. Going up in hundreds for the colors is common, so I'm going to do that. Cool, this, we can now say this is all text secondary. And so is this. Nice, that looks pretty good, I think. You know what, I think that is maybe, yeah, medium, yeah, it's at weight 500, I think it's actually this. That's why it looks slightly bolder than the grey. Oh, this too, this is also 500, cool. I kind of like using the medium to, yeah, make things stand out a bit. Nice. We have one row. Cool. I'm gonna. Oh, let's look at. So this ends up being 44 high. How does it get to that? I want to try and do this through padding because it's kind of more. What's the word? It's closer to how the thing would be built in real life. 24 is too much. You can see I'm just kind of checking the height. 16, no. So okay, it's probably got 12 up and down. 40. Okay. 13 and 13. No? Bad maths. 14 and 14. 44. Nice. Okay, I'm just gonna. Alright, that's looking good, eh? That's looking like it's looking like our thing. So I've just made this a component, the issue row component. And I'm going to keep the master components separate from building out the UI, just so that we can kind of keep things organized, and so that we have something that starts to look like what we want. I'm going to just duplicate a bunch of these in an auto layout. Let's see. Nice. Obviously there's a lot of repetition here, which kind of makes the markup look weird. There's this app called Content Reel, which I really like for this. Let's see, I could add in the issues, but I wonder if just need some short text. Maybe we go, yeah, whatever. Yeah, this works. Cool. Let's also imagine that a bunch of these. Okay, yeah, this is a good time for variants. So we want, this one has got like at the moment they've got parent issues on all of them, but we want to have some variant, or like a lot of them won't have parent issues. A good way to do that is I created an extra variant. I'm going to say has parent for the property. And I'm going to give these the condition of false or true. If you use false or true, then you get a nice toggle switch like this to let you switch it on and off. So the one with parent, I'm going to leave this in. The one without, I'm just going to hide this like that. Cool. And now you can see these are all don't have parents, but let's say that this one, this one, this one, this one all have parents. There we go. That looks better to me. Sweet. These do have like tiny hairlines in between the main doodads, between the list items. I think I'll get to that in a minute because these lines also apply between the title here. Nice, so I'm going to do the same but for this, for the backlog, for the heading here. So we have backlog. This is just reusing this icon here, which is nice. So I'm going to do the same. Components, there we go, status symbol. It's got like a size indicator and a plus icon. I'm going to leave the size indicator off, I think, because that's only if you're using sizes, and we'll do a plus. That's going to be used in a lot of places. So again, we're going to stick to the same 16 by 16 image grid. I'm just going to stick a stroke on it, so I kind of know what I'm dealing with space-wise. What stroke width is this? Let's have a look. Is this 2 also, or are they using like a... So you can see, okay, the icon is 12 by 12. They're using rectangles, so we're not going to be able to tell easily. Okay, but we know we want a 12 by 12. What's it? And again, 12 by 12. Let's say this is probably 2 by 2. See how it looks. Ugh. Use lines, not rectangles. Centering is anything to... Oh, it's measuring the lines from the... This is interesting. How do you fix this? I guess that works. You know what, this feels a little thinner, eh? I might go for like a 1.5. Except the centering is going to be a bitch with... Using 0.5 pixels can be a little weird, but assuming you're on like a retina display, as the 7.25, yeah. There you go, that looks about right. I'm going to merge this just so that the shape uses fills just like the rest. Cool. Let's make these so they all use secondary by default too. Cool, and this is going to be a medicine component, yeah. So add a component. Nice, that looks reasonable. Again, this is like a left-aligned block. Where are we? This is a left-aligned block, and then a right-aligned thingy here. So let's do the same. Let's cluster these with an auto layout. Give it 8 for now. I'm going to finish this spacing later. And then these again, auto layout, space between so that they flex like this. and this block is coming to 36 pixels. 36 minus 16. So let's try 10. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna whack 16 pixels here for now. So this is like kind of done, and we're gonna give this the naming of these things is like, it's a bit squiffy right now, obviously. Like it's not a super consistent system, but I find it's easier to figure out these things once you've got kind of got a bunch of them, got some of your system figured out. One thing I didn't do, I didn't give this any background color. You can see this is slightly lighter, so let's see what color that's using. 39, 40, 43. Cool, yeah, so it's like a cool dark gray. This looks to be kind of the next lightest. You can see this and this are the same darkness. This seems to be like the next lightest shade, so I'm going to say this is, I'm going to give this a name of surface 200, because it's kind of like the next level up. And let's just do the other things too. So this, this backlog is like a different, two 215, 216, 219. You can see this is like kind of in between the secondary and the primary. I might need to rethink my naming a little. Okay, so we're gonna, that's fine. Let's call this one secondary. I didn't give it a name, that's okay. I'm gonna put this down. This is gonna become tertiary. This one's going to become text secondary. Cool. That is looking pretty okay, I'd say. This plus is a little heavy here, right? I think maybe it is a 1 pixel by 1 pixel line. Not sure. Anyway, let's move on. We can come back to it. Cool, this is good. My list is starting to take shape. Let's add another section in here, just so we kind of feels a bit more realistic. This might be a good place to introduce primary color, so 94, 106, 210. I guess this could be whatever you want, really. Let's use this. I'm going to call this brand because it's like the brand color. Brand primary. Cool, and this is complete. Right, I'm going to move on to what do we tackle next? Maybe let's start by imagining that this sidebar isn't here. Simplify things. I'm going to do the header and the sidebar, so let's go header next. So you can see this is the same color. Yeah, it just uses the background color. And seeing as we're like kind of getting into the stage of having quite a lot of text lying around, let's formalize some text styles. So this, we've got this and this, they're the same. This is the same but regular. If we let's just click on one of these. What else have we got? I'm just thinking about how we name these. So this is kind of a small, it's 12. This is 12 as well. Really? No, surely not. 15. Okay. Maybe I call, so this is kind of like, let's say this is our like UI text. When you get into issue details here and these are kind of like almost user-defined copies. Maybe we call these the body or something. Yeah, let's start with that. So I'm going to say let's give this a text style of UI/main. And then we're going to call this one, this is kind of like the smaller version, UI/small, I guess. We can rethink this later. Let's just make sure our other things use this too. So this and this are both UI main. This. UI small. Interesting. Oh, of course, no. So the SAM 100 isn't UI small, so that's. But it is regular. Okay, so we're going to need another. See, my naming is already breaking down. Let's just go main regular for now. We're going to have to fix this later. Yeah, whatever. So here, backlog, this looks to be medium as well. So UI main. Is it? Is it regular? $13,500, yeah, probably is. Okay. Cool. Yeah, well, that works. That looks pretty good. Cool, so now we should have textiles everywhere, which is good. That will kind of make our life easier as we just get more complex. Cool, we have this squarey kind of icon here, chevron. So this looks kind of bigger than everything else. Maybe I'm going to give it a 14 by 14. Around the corners, it looks like they have a bit of smoothing going on them. And this is like 4 rectangles within the main rectangle. It's just going to take a bit of playing with to get right, but we'll start with just getting them in. We know these should be equally spaced. So let's see. Oh, thanks. Oh, we've got a 9x9 block. It's pretty, they are pretty tightly spaced together. I wonder if these, if we make them 3x3. You can use Figma's spacing thing here. So 1, 1. Oh, I'm being sick. Okay, let's just do that. What's different about this, do you think? Oh, the squares are even smaller still. Let's make these, let's go with subpixels again. Again, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but if we do that and that, we've now got a 6x6, which means should be able to position this more equally. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that looks kind of along the right lines, eh? Oh, interesting. I drew this wrong. This was okay. 14 by 14. You know, I bet we can. Oh, what the hell? This kind of looks good. Yeah, that looks the business. Let's just leave it like that. So this is our icon for a project. I'm going to call this project. No, text. Tertiary. Cool. Let's see this back in. That looks good. I'm going to imagine that this isn't starred, just to skip the... In fact, there's a lot of icons here, and I'm going to skip most of them, to be honest. Just because I'm kind of more interested in the colors and the layout and stuff. Yeah, so maybe I even leave it there, actually, and just kind of get this in and get the major pieces in. This is 57. So probably using 23, 20 and 20 here. Interestingly, I guess that's like 10 and 10, 20 and 20, so it's almost like this is double this, not quite because of the middle bit, but double spacing. Cool, and it's just going to sit on top. A lot of stack, like so. Nice, it's taking shape. We've still got to do kind of like the lines between stuff. I'm curious about how they do those, but I'm going to jump ahead to the sidebar. So let's create ourselves a sidebar. This uses the background. Do I do these? Yeah, I guess I do. So it looks like that workspace is kind of using the same shape as this, just with different insides. So let's reuse this. I'm gonna come over here, get my initials in there. That's how they were doing the take a little fiddling to get it. Ah, that looks kind of centered. Well, let's just call this 2.5. There, sure, that works. Oh, they've got a little shadow making the text pop out. That's kind of nice. Let's do that. Give this a, I don't know, let's try that. And a little bit of shadow. I wonder if, is this in there as code? We've got a box that's pink. Ah, text shadow. Interesting. I didn't know that was a CSS thing. Cool. 0.4. Okay, so 40% opacity, 1Y, 2 blur. 2 blur, 1Y. Hey, look at that. That looks quite nice. Sweet. So we're going to need one of them. This, I'm pretty sure, is using the same text as this, but in this slightly faded secondary color. So let's grab that. We got a bit of an ellipsis cutoff thing going on like that. Text, secondary. An avatar. Which looks to be a little smaller than this. I'm going to say it's 12 by 12. Again, we can use content reel to just stick a face in there real quick. This chevron is an SVG 9 by 5. Let's draw that. Yeah. So you can see I just went ahead with the pencil and started trying to draw it, but actually I think this kind of thing is often easier. Draw the frame first, and you've got some boundaries to work with. And now you can see I can go, he says, where are the boundaries? There they are. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go across here, even though this line's going to be deleted, and then, oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh. By 5. Probably want to round the tips. If I can remember how to do that. Yeah, round the tips just to smooth things off a bit. Similarly, I'm going to stick like 1 pixel of, in fact, just round the joints there. Does that look right? Based on what they have? I think so. That's probably the tertiary thing. No, this doesn't look right, does it? Let's see. 9 by 5. Oh, it's not actually, it's squared off. On the path, does it say anything about the path width, stroke, anything like that? It doesn't. Well, okay. I think it's probably more like that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stick to what they had. Is this a 1.5 job? Maybe. No. So this is kind of a weird one where Yeah, I don't know, just kind of eyeballing it. It's probably not 100% right. That's starting to look right. I think they're also using a slightly darker shade of color than these icons here. Let's check. If we go to the SVG, they're using 92, 98, 102, 109. Yeah, darker still. Nice, let's call that quaternary. This is starting to look reasonable. Let's go ahead, and these look like they're kind of matched. These are going to form one unit. You can see from the way that this hovers that this has kind of like a built-in padding around it, 8 pixel padding around it. So let's put that in here. Even though I'm probably not going to do hover states, it'll just help us organize things. So then I'm going to wrap these in, in a kind of containing order layout box. So that's kind of about done. Cool. Okay, there are tons of icons here, and I'm not going to do these. What will I do? I'm just going to do like, you know what, maybe we just reuse these status symbol things for the icons. Yeah, that works. This is going to be like a menu button right in this one. Primary. This looks to be smaller to me. Smaller text, I mean. Yeah, 12,500. Okay, cool. It's almost like we have like a regular. I was just using 13 and 12 regular and bold sizes. So I'm probably going to change the naming convention to reflect something more like that. But for now, let's go to UI, small, bold. And I think this is probably secondary, is it? Yeah. Cool. So this, they're using, it's coming out as 28 pixels high. So adding 12 on top of that. So what 6 and 6 does here. How much padding are they having on the left? 10? Huh. And this is a new color. I think this is probably going to be our Surface 300. Let's have a look. So new background, new border. So 55, 56, 59. This looks like it's going to be Surface 300. And 69, 72, 78 on the stroke. It's a bit outside because CSS borders work like that. This has a corner radius. I feel like, where's that? Oh, it's border radius in CSS, isn't it? Let's eyeball it. That's a bit much. maybe it's 3. 3 is kind of quite a common border radius for dense interfaces like this. That's also, I think, what we used here, right? Yeah. Cool. So probably 3 for all of the buttons and stuff. This is a good point. That's got 8. This also looks like it's got 8 because you can hover on this. So I'm going to make this auto layer now because we have 2 items. You can see that the left edges of this and this match up. So we're going to do the same. We're going to make these full container. Yeah, nice. This looks good. You know what? I'm going to make this the add because this is a new issue, isn't it? Nice. And then below this, we're going to have a bunch of these. I'm going to say this is like sidebar button. Move the original up here somewhere. Let's start from a sidebar button, and I'm going to detach it and get rid of the styling. It looks like, you see there's kind of like more space between this, and then these are tightly packed together. So on our overall sidebar group like this, I think we're going to need a bit more space, maybe, oh, too much. Let's say 8. Yeah, and this is going to be like a sidebar list item. Again, I'm going to move the original up here. We need a bunch of these. See, there's like a group here of a few. So let's say that these are going to all be a group. You can see this is tightly packed, so that when you hover, the background actually kind of like hits. So there's no space between these. Just change the text so this looks more realistic. My issues, views, Roma. Nice, we've got smaller text here. This looks even smaller. Oh yeah, they're calling it like mini plus. Let's see. Oh, it's 12 pixels. Okay. Cool. This is where the favorites are going to go. Small, regular. In what looks to be the same as this. So it's tertiary. Yeah, nice. And then I'm just going to duplicate this and then give these some gobbledygook names. Let's see. Cities. That'll do. This is different again. I think maybe I won't bother with this. Cool. Right, so this is kind of taking shape. We've got a sidebar, we've got groups of sidebar list items, we've got a sidebar heading. There's more space here. Let's see how we do that. This comes to 24 high, 16 kind of. So let's make this its own kind of thing with some padding up top. 4 high, sure, yeah, that looks better. This too, you can see currently is aligning with the full. That looks pretty good. Yeah, sweet. So we're something like it's approaching, looking a bit like Linear. I'm going to stick these together. I'm going to save this fill container so that this is always the same height. We're going to need some dividers to kind of like separate out the sections. So maybe I'll take care of that now. You can see also there's some width issues, like the padding here is I haven't figured out yet. We've got checkboxes hidden, which is creating we need more space here basically. But let's do dividers first. Let's see how they're doing this. So it looks like this divider here, like the major sections, the sidebar, the header, they're divided by like a slightly lighter color, and then for each of these list items we've got a super light hairline. So let's kind of investigate what's going on with that. Let's see, is it on? I'm just going to find like the sidebar top here, nav. Okay, yeah, they got a border right of 1 pixel. Okay, interesting. They're kind of thinner than 1 pixel almost, but fine. And a border right color of this, 48, 50, 54. So Figma doesn't really have one-sided borders, so I'm going to use, what's the most reliable way of doing this? I'm just going to use a line, kind of like, because we have an auto layout, I can sandwich the line between these two sections and make it fill container. So I'm looking at the color, that was 48, 50, 54. Oops. It's hidden. Where is it hidden? Okay, it has no height. Okay, we're going to use, if I just copy this, we're not going to use a line, we're going to use a rectangle, because a rectangle will kind of like owns the space. A line is kind of like, doesn't have any inherent width or height to it. Rectangle will, so we're going to use that. And if I just do this. Okay. 48, 50, 54, right? Yeah, that looks good. 303, 236. Is this a used color that we use already? I'm not sure. Maybe 303, 272. No, okay, it's different. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to save this different color. Call it divider for now. This might change. I'm going to call this primary because it's like the bolder one of the two. And let's go into right pane and do the same here. So 1 pixel high, move it up to here. Divided primary, full container. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, that looks better. Now, between these lines, we have 1 pixel again, but darker. 39, 40, 43. Because there's so many separations here, I think what I'm going to do to do this is I'm going to make everything in here part of the same list. And rather than giving them all borders, I'm just going to stick a pixel of spacing between them and then kind of give the whole thing a background color so that the color comes through. And that color was 39, 40, 43. Okay, yeah, cool. It's kind of hard to see, but it is there and looking nice. So divider, secondary. Sweet. Yeah, that does look good actually. It's interesting that maybe it is the same, you know. This surface 100 color and the divider. Let's see, surface 200, sorry. 272. Oh, yeah, okay, so the dividers are just using the slightly lighter surface color. That's nice. Is it the same here? 222, 375, 2. No, okay, so this one is brighter still. Cool. I think it's been like almost an hour. Maybe I'm gonna stop here. Maybe summarize a bit. So this was cool. This was useful. I just maybe make this a little bigger. Yeah, nice. So this isn't all linear, but it's pretty close. Well, it's like some of the main components, some of the most used things. Yeah, so interesting. It's cool. They only use there's two font sizes, 13 and 12. I was expecting maybe more, you know. It's quite a hard thing to limit yourself like that in the UI. Also, interestingly, I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure macOS uses 13 as like their so maybe if I go 0 here. Yeah, you can see how like macOS uses 13 as their kind of default font size. You know what? I bet maybe this is smaller. Maybe that's 11. But one of the things I really like about Linear is how kind of native it. Well, it doesn't feel native, but it feels very at home. Like on a Mac, on a computer, and I think maybe this like 13-point font size decision is part of that. It really like blends in with the rest of the operating system. Similarly to not using many fonts or many sizes, they're also not using that many colors. It's at least so far we've only run into 3 kind of text colors which are used for the text and the iconography, which is nice. 3 surface colors, and you know they're only using this 300 once in this higher level thing to really call out the main action. Yeah, and then similarly, like the 4, I guess. What was I going to say? Yeah, not using many colors, I guess. The spacing is all kept pretty regular. They reuse a lot of components all the time. You can see like there's not many things being reused here, and it's very systematic. Everything lines up. Title lines up with this, lines up with this. this lines up with this. Everything kind of lines up with everything else. It makes for a really slick, really polished, really out of the way interface. Yeah, big fan. Cool. I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been fun, and yeah, maybe you find this useful to do yourself. If you do, let me know how it goes, and be cool to chat about it with you. Cheers.